Hi, I'm Vicki Gilhula, editor of Sudbury Living magazine, and today I'm talking to Dr. Paul Valliant, a psychologist at Laurentian University, who's written a book called Life After 50. This wasn't my birthday card, but I got it in the mail, and I laughed. Yeah. And it's called Life After 50, The Road to Longevity. So tell me, it says that after you turned 50, was that recently or?
Yeah, in the recent past.
And you decided to write this book up for yourself or for other people like you? Or?
No, I wrote it for other people. I was interested in the concept. I've been doing research on aging since the 80s. And I've been looking at a combination of things from mental health to physical fitness in the elderly. And so I took it one step further, and that was to put all the knowledge I had together and come up with these strategies, as I call it. And that's why I say the road to longevity, because if one takes a number of different strategies, they can do quite well after 50 years of age. Most people accept it as a transition. For some reason, it's that halfway point between being a centenarian.
It's halfway. Because I was thinking that 50 seemed, of course I am over 50, but I was thinking that 50 was young. Life after, so I thought maybe life after 60 or whatever. So I was surprised, but you based it as a midpoint.
That's the next book, Life After 60.
After 60.
Now, I decided to take the midpoint because many people tend to retire after 50 years of age. We've always talked about Freedom 55.
Yes.
Some people do, some don't, and so I decided to take a look at all the information I could come up with and then put it together in a book and try to provide people with an idea of what to look forward to.
Do you deal in the book, and I'm speaking from personal experience, as to how you cope with how other people see you? Because everyone sees themselves maybe as 30 or whatever, and then all of a sudden, the young guys in the shop start calling you sir or ma'am or dear. And so do you deal with that? Because that's sort of been a difficult thing for me to realize that people see me as a senior or a young senior anyway.
That's correct. I think that people in their own mind's eye, they have an idea of how they feel. So mentally, they reflect on these cognitive ideas of who they are, and they say, oh, okay, I feel fairly healthy, robust, I'm going to work every day. It's not until they look in the mirror they say, oh yeah, I guess I am really 50 or 60 or whatever I am at this point. And I guess that people don't always tend to reflect on their true age. They reflect on how they feel. And that's actually one of the ideas behind what I call cognitive strategies, that people start thinking about themselves in terms of how they feel and try to reflect on the positive thoughts as opposed to saying, I'm decrepit, I'm old, I can't do anything anymore. They start looking at what they can do, and I think that's the positive part about it. Trying to ask themselves, how can I put all of this together to make the best of my life at this stage?
Would you advocate then some people who want to work till they're 80, and some professionals do, like you may end up working, you can work as long as you want, right? Because you can continue to write or whatever, so there's no deadline. So do you think that is a good?
Well, the main point I make in the book is that as long as one is healthy, they should continue to work. And the only time one should stop is if they get to that point where they just are incapable of functioning anymore at their job. For example, they have lapses in memory and they need to do fairly well with the memory. We find as long as one challenges their brain every day, we find this amongst, say, university professors, for example. They're always challenged to prepare notes, get up on the latest data, read articles. They're challenged by their students in the classroom. So as a group in particular, we find that they as a particular population tend to have maybe better capability cognitively a lot longer than, say, someone who has worked in a labor job who upon retiring at 55 doesn't use their brain anymore. They simply watch television and nothing of any particular importance. They don't do any kind of challenging activities to get their imagination or their mind stimulated. So that's one of the things that I talk about as well. I talk about those aspects of how to prepare themselves and what they can be doing. One of the best things a person can do, certainly post 50, is to continue with your exercise, because exercise stimulates the lower limbs, the hands, the body parts, and all this information will in fact be relayed up to the sensory motor strip of the brain, which will then pass information to the frontal part of your brain, and it'll get the whole body in a particular, I guess, mode of function. We always say healthy body, healthy mind, and that's essentially what we're talking about, how the information is
That's interesting coming from you, because I would think you'd be more about the mind instead of the body, but...
No, both components are very important, and that's why it's really important for people over 50 to maximize all their potential.